Hey Clashers, and welcome back to another video. We have yet again another sneak peek. This time around though, we have some quality of life changes and they are going to be awesome. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the first thing which is going to change, and that is going to be the quick train menu. From this point on, you can share your army compositions in the clan. You can share them with a link, but you can copy them within your quick train menu as well. That is, in my opinion, really awesome. The next thing is when you're like 3 crafting and trying to build up your next army composition, you have access to every single super troop and just can like build up your OP army composition. Obviously, you can only train them if you have actually all of those super troops selected. The next thing, which I feel like is really, really cool, is that you have your friendly army composition in this quick train menu as well, which means you can easily copy over some of your armies into your friendly army composition, which means you can use them in friendly challenges or in friendly war, for example. So that's already a really big thing. The next thing, which I feel like is really interesting, is a lot of people are kind of annoyed by having to scroll non-stop. So they have to scroll to the left, to the right, just making sure that they're not missing any of their spells or, for example, or any of their troops. And now Supercell have added something new, which is really cool. So from now on, you can actually adjust the size of your deployment bar, which I think is really cool. I will show you guys, obviously, like how the biggest is looking like. This is like the biggest possible setting with your heroes and everything, which you can deploy in Clash of Clans, which is already kind of big. So you have kind of to scroll a lot. Obviously, it's not only depending on if you would like to scroll a lot or not. It's obviously depending on the size of your hands. For example, if you have like, I don't know, like small fingers, big fingers, whatever you have, you can like adapt with this, with changing the size. For example, the next one which I want to show you is like the smallest possible size. And to be honest, I think I could not play this game like this. Like, it's way too small. Obviously, all of this recorded on an iPad, so I don't know, maybe it's better. I feel like on the phone it might be even, it should be even worse, to be honest. But either way, you can now change that. I'm a huge fan of that. I will obviously, I think I will spend the next couple of weeks and try around with that a little bit and feel like what might be the best fit for me. And the next thing is a tool which was already possible for the last couple of months, I feel already. And it was not a tool which too many people used, I think, because this tool allows you to have like 2 rows of deployment bars, which means you do not have to scroll anymore. The biggest problem so far yet was that this double bar was just way too big, and you were not really able to see too much of the village, too much of your screen actually attacking the base. So that was a kind of big problem. From this point on, as we said, you can now change the size of that, which is really nice. Yet again, this is the smallest. I think this is still way too small to actually like tap precisely and make sure you're hitting the troop you want to hit. But still, we're going to take a look now at one of the complete like biggest sizes with that, which is going to look kind of funny. But still, as I said, you can like in between as well, like choose whatever you would like. And there's one question I would like to ask, and that question is, do you think you might now might use that feature, or is it still not really that interesting for you? Either way, this is looking just like super funny. It's like half of the screen is the deployment bar, half of the screen is the village. It looks so stupid to me. It's really funny, but I think it's cool that it's in the game, even those 2 extremes, which means like really small, really big, really depending on a lot of things, like obviously the device, your hand size and everything. But hey, let's get to the next topic, and that's one that's going to be interesting, because if you're going to press on move all in your village editor, you now have 2 more buttons. You have 2 more buttons, which means you can rotate now your base. That is pretty cool, which means you can copy bases and then make sure that no one is remembering them because you have rotated them. So that's kind of cool, but at the same time kind of annoying. I'm not really sure. Either way, this feature is going to trigger cooldown. So for example, if you're rotating your base, you will have a 24-hour cooldown to use it in your next friendly challenge, in your next friendly war, for example. So either way, make sure to remember that. But hey, let's just keep going. Yesterday, we had the new troop, which was the Dragon Rider. I have already said my most favorite attack, which is the Queen Shot Dragon Rider. But a lot of you guys said, hey, try a dragon hybrid basically, or like an air hybrid. I have tried it with 3 things. First, I used dragon riders with super minions, which straight up sucked, like it was not good at all. And then I have tried 2 other things, which is dragon riders with inferno dragons. That's what you're seeing right now. And then the other thing was dragons with the dragon riders. So I will show you now both attacks. They're going to be on the exact same base. Everything is going to be exact the same, except obviously like the troops. I'm trying to attack it the same way as I did before. Both of those attacks are the first try. So I have not like cracked the base or whatever. It's the first try on this base with this specific army composition. So I have not like tried a lot of things. And you can see already the problem. I feel like, I don't know, on the back end, the Inferno Dragons need a little bit more, like need a little bit too much time to actually stack up and get this back end done. And you're relying most of the time on the Royal Champion. If that Royal Champion is not really getting things done, you have huge problems. And the problem right now is that this back end scatter is not dropping, because it seems like the Warden is switching over to the Queen, and this is, or like to the Royal Champion, sorry. And this means that this attack is going to be kind of a problem. So let's talk during this Queen is going to clean things up. Let's talk about something else, which is going to be game/balances/bug fixes. And I think there are a ton of bugs which Supercell tried to fix, especially around the Builder Hut. The Builder Hut was an interesting addition and caused a lot of kind of crazy interactions. There are a couple of bug fixes in there which you can 100% reach in the patch notes. But I think the most interesting one is, by the way, this is going to be a classic 99. The most classic one is going to be that the Royal Champion shield no longer can hit builders. So far, when you use the Royal Champion shield at the end of the attack, and for example, Builder Hut was the last building, the Royal Champion shield could actually hit after that a builder, which is kind of strange, but that was how it was. This is going to be fixed, so this is not possible anymore. And the next one, which in my opinion is a huge fix, which is going to be for pets, and healers can no longer target Unicorn. The Unicorn was never supposed to be targeted by the healers, but there were some random cases where this switch was happening. It's super frustrating because the healers most of the time stick to the Unicorn and never switch back to the Queen. And this makes it really hard to charge on turn of 14 with only 2 to 3 healers. So that's not the easiest thing. That bug should be fixed. Really looking forward to that. And there are obviously a ton of more bug fixes, but I feel like those were the most important ones. And now let's get back to the Dragons, because the Dragons are already looking, in my opinion, they're looking just way strong in turn of 14 now. Like Inferno Dragons, just because they got the level already way ahead of every other air troop, I feel like now they're kind of on the weak side. So I feel like if you're doing an air hybrid with like Dragon Riders and something else, it should be always Dragons. It feels like those 2 troops are really working well together. We see it on the back end. There's still so many Dragons left. Obviously, it's not the exact same outcome as the last one, because way more Dragons went to the right. But as I said, I'm sorry for that, but I cannot replicate the attack the exact same. I feel like still it's a good comparison between those 2 different options of strategies. So I think, as I said, the air hybrid, if you want to call it like this, and if you want to use it with the Dragons and Dragon Riders, is way stronger. I have to say my most favorite attack with the Dragon Riders, the Queen Charge Dragon Rider. I think that's the best fit for this troop. Either way, let me know what you think of that. Thank you so much for watching for the really short and compact video. I will see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see ya and bye bye.